here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the.
Well, hey guys, happy Monday. It is Monday, and work continues. As you guys know, you'll see. Good news, I went to my last occupational therapy session this morning, and occupational therapy, if you don't know, is that one where they've been doing work on my neck and my upper body so I get the strength back. And the last month we've been doing what I do, like when I work at Home Depot, stocking shelves, pulling freight around, doing stuff like that. But today was my last day. I passed all my tests that they got for me with flying colors, so yay, done with that. Wednesday will hopefully be my last day with occupational physical therapy, and I'll be done with them. The funny thing is, the sessions I had last week, they were both saying we just have to keep thinking of more things for you to try to do, and everything we think of, you knock out of the park. So good, and I'm glad. I've had a lot of good times, and oh my God, why am I doing this with the therapy sessions? But I do appreciate their hard work in getting me back, and trust me, it does help me with getting back to model building too. So there's that. So like I said, work continues on the F-86 and the Huey. I did start some work Saturday after I got the video posted, and you will see that. And hopefully this week I will get F-86 done and be almost done with Huey. I don't know if I'm going to have it done. That's the plan, but I'm going to do that because now I'm treating these, especially with now me getting done with therapy sessions, I'm going to start doing my build sessions as my job right now because I'm not cleared to go back to work. So I'm going to hopefully try to start spending more and more time in the studio so I get used to, doing like 8 hours or 9 hours of work or whatever I normally do, 8 to 12 hours, but that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully I get more on this. And with that being said, with this being the introduction to this week's build video, I am going to announce the choice of the two kits that I had brought to you before and letting it go. We did get votes for both, and hopefully, they did say hopefully you do this one, this is why. But the most votes we got for is me starting and doing the NX-01 Enterprise. I did get this kit. A good friend of mine, Scratch and Jack, let me procure one of his extras, and he's a really great friend, a really great builder, and now he's into doing 3D printing, which if you guys watch Aztec Dummy, you'll get to see what he did the last couple of weeks is actually one of Scratch and Jack's pieces that he built. He printed to be built. So I'm hoping to one day be on that great level to be able to do one of Scratch and Jack's 3D artworks. But the NX-01 will be going, and that is going to be a very long build. That's why I just wanted to do these two quick static builds. But NX-01 is in the future, and hopefully we will get started with that next week. But guys, I want to thank you to my new subscribers and to my subscribers that have been with me since I started this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's much appreciated. And if you are new to my channel, guys, please hit the subscribe button, and when you do, it'll ask you to be alerted when I post videos. You can or you cannot, that's your choice, but please, if you like the channel, you like what I'm doing, please hit the subscribe button. And also, guys, as always, if you have anything you want to say or whatever, leave it in the comment section. I'll try to answer within 12 to 24 hours. I'm a little quicker with being at home because of the injury, but please leave it in the comment section. And guys, please, I accept your compliments, your questions, how do you do something better, and I will, and I'll even try to do that on a future build so you guys get more of what I'm talking about when you ask questions on how do you do this, Buck. And also, guys, if you got criticisms, both good and bad, I take them all. I am a model builder, and I like when people bring something to me and go, hey Buck, I know you did it this way, but have you thought about doing it this way? Or maybe you should have tried this instead of this. I love those. But I also accept those, well, Buck, you just suck comments, because whatever. I do read those. I might not reply to them and put them back on the shelf where they should be. But guys, we are a great model community, and please, please, if you follow my channel, please, you know, you can follow me on Facebook, and you can follow the great community I belong to. Amazing Scum Modelers is on Facebook. So is HobbyLink International on Facebook. And Spruce Society is on Facebook. And several others, and I'll bring them up as I do keep getting back into doing videos with you. But guys, please, please, I learned so much from every modeler that I'm friends with and people that post in our communities. So guys, there's always something to learn, and the moment you stop learning something new, with especially with building models, is the moment you should just retire from doing this and pick up something else. But guys, again, thank you so much, and I will quit rambling and we'll get on to the builds. Alright guys, see you in a bit. Alright, welcome back guys, and we're continuing work on the F-86 and the Huey. But I wanted to show you, and I went ahead and got it all the work I needed to get done before starting the primary paint done. What you see here, if you haven't done it before and you're watching my channel, learn how to, you know, improve your technique, or you're not quite sure how to bring out those extra details, what I've done is what's called pre-shading. And basically all I did was take my airbrush with T.B.I black paint, or whatever paint company you like, Vallejo, Model Color, T.B.I, Model Masters, whatever. But take a flat black, and what you want to do is you want to spray in where all the panel lines are, and the detail that you brought back out after you've gotten all the sanding down and the seam lines fixed. And do not worry if you're not following the line very well, because this is going to be covered up with the primary paint. But what this is going to help do is it's going to help show that detail. It's going to give it a little more pop than just not doing this and just going over it with the paint color. Like I said, this is what we call pre-shading, and I love doing this because what it helps is help bring those details out. And I know you're going, well, Bucky, you're going to show us when you did that, how you're going to do it. Well, as you can see what I did, you can see, and basically it's pretty simple. Just take your airbrush, get a, you know, you don't have to have too much paint, get it all mixed well. And then, if you've never done pre-shading on panel lines, I highly suggest doing this. And let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. And basically all it is if you use an airbrush like I got right here, doesn't matter what brand, but you got the cup, you got, you know, and the gun, and you got this trigger. Best thing I can tell you is, when you do this, have it at the lowest pull that you can. And what I mean by pull on the trigger is, don't have it all the way open, because that's going to put more paint and thicker paint and wider area. You want to have that down as low, and I'll show you here. So, what you want to do, if you, like I said, if you've never done this, get a piece of paper and just practice. So first, you can just, easiest way I know how to do it is I just push the button down, and that gets the air going and helps clean that brush. And then as you pull it back, you can see that line starting to form, and just get used to doing those. Okay? But when I'm saying just that small line, you know, just going like that, and just get used to drawing circles, up and down lines, whatever. But you're asking, what if I just open it all the way? Well, if you have bigger kits, that's fine. You want to bring more detail to that line, that's fine. But when you pull all the way up on these small kits like I'm doing, and I'll show you. So here we go, start, and then that's the airbrush fully open. You can see thick black line and thicker paint, and just goes down a lot. I like to just do a line, and if you start getting thick, don't worry about it, but adjust your flow like that, and just come back out and do these. Now, like I said, don't worry about if you got it right on the line. You want it to kind of be excess over, like it is on this one. and it helps create that definition around. You've got the panel lines show you where you want to go, and don't worry, like I said, don't worry about following it. You just want to create that effect, and as you can tell, guys, that's what happened here. Some areas are bigger, some areas are thinner, some areas are a little darker, some areas are lighter. But, you know, like I said, you want to make sure you do both sides. So as you can see, and, you know, take your time doing it. If you see an area that seems a little too light, you can go back over just like this, as you can see. And that's all I did is I just do that line. You know, kind of be close to the kit. Because the further you're away, the wider the beam's going to be. The closer you are, the thinner the beam's going to be. Okay, guys? Let me show you that again. Let me get in camera. The further away, the wider. The closer, the smaller, as you guys can see. So that was closer to the kit, and that was far away from the kit. So that's what I do to help bring out, what I do is what we call pre-shading and help bring out the detail on the kit. Now, as you remember from the last video I did, I showed you I fixed up where I had raised edges from the panel work and more putty work that I had to do, and I got it all sanded back down. It's flat for me where I think it looks good with the kit. And then I went with my X-Acto knife, especially on this kit, to bring back out that detail of the lining from where the plane was put together. Again, nothing wrong with the T.B.I scriber knife, scriber knife. But for this kit, oops, sorry, so much noise. I wanted to do it this way and bring those lines back out. Now, when this gets fully good and dry, we're going to start primary color. And I'll show you each stage when I get that painted to show you how it looks with the first pass. And as you just keep coming up, and I'll explain that process of painting these things, especially with the panel lining that I've done, the pre-shading. So guys, stay tuned. And yes, the Huey is still under work. And I will show you that when we come back. Alright, talk to you later, guys. Bye. Scratch the bye because you're going to be more videos, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, guys, you're going, holy crap. Well, first off, yeah, I'm back. Second off, yeah, serious crap. As you guys can tell, if I can keep this thing in camera for the best of you, I've done a little masking. I've done a lot. I've done the wheel wells. And I've already masked off the gun ports on both sides of the middle of the fuselage. Now, before I do the main part of the body, I'm going to go ahead and get the wheel wells painted the way I want, or the color I want, and then once that's dry, I'll remove the mask, and then I'll mask off just the wheel wells so I can do the rest of the body like I did the gun ports. If you're building this kit with the gears up and the landing doors in place while it's in flight, don't worry about this part because you're just doing main primary color and doing your aging and your detailing techniques. But if you're wanting to add an extra challenge into kits, do it with the wheel wells down. Now there's 2 points or 2 reasons why I'm doing it. One, I haven't done many aircraft with wheels down, and trust me, I do love doing them because there's that detail. But second, if you do enter your builds into a contest and it's on the ground in a diorama or just as a model itself, expect the judges to pick it up, look at it, look at the wheel wells, look underneath, all that. Okay, guys, just be fair warned. Judges do like to pick these up. They are very careful, but they want to look at what you did, like the bottom of the seam lines, how well you painted and did work on the wheel wells that are molded into a kit, besides adding the landing gears and all that. Like I said, the reason I'm doing these first is so I can get these dried and then get these masked off and do the rest of the primary color. But this is a good technique to show you. So I've already got my paint mixed, and basically it's going to be flat white. And yes, and there's a reason why you mask everything. But again, you just want to and you don't want to cover it in just one pass. I'll explain that in a second. Look at this first You don't want to cover it, get it all painted in the first pass. Now, granted, you can if you want, but I'm going to show you a technique, and I'll do it again on the main body so you guys get a bigger representation. But basically, my first pass is I just want to get it paint down. I want to get it there, and it starts to cover up the oil well. But as you guys can see, if I can do camera work, you can still see where the pre-shading is, even in the wheel wells. And no, it's just not full bland or full white. That adds the detail to the wheel wells, and then it just allows you. Now the first pass, yeah, it's great. But when you go to do subsequent passes, and you want to let it dry a little bit, but when you do subsequent passes, and like I said, when I do the big one, I'll show you, but I want to thin down the paint even a little more. I don't want it as thick as I did the first pass, because it will cover the area more, but it'll be a lighter coat. And yes, you do want to mix again. And then I'll show you, but even because the paint's thinner, you might even want to have the gun a little further. Like I got it here on the first pass, now I'm going to bring it back. And let me zoom out so you can see this technique and try to show you better. I don't want to have it when I thin down way up close. I kind of do want to have it back again for the mask. But don't be afraid to move this around while you're painting and get into those details if you're having a hard time with it. So, like I said, don't be afraid if you don't get it completely, because you just want to get that illusion. But with the paint being thinner, you definitely want to be a little further back than what you normally are. And make sure to get the sides, because I've done that before. I've gotten a kit done and thought, damn, it was great, and then I got to looking at it and I forgot to get the wall sides, so in the front. So maybe one more pass, and that's going to be, I'm going to call that good. I don't want it overbearing. I want it to show that it's there, but I don't want it to be toy looking painted, you know, if you know what I'm saying. If you watch Lou Aztec Dummies, he talks about all the time about gloss and doing coats and stuff, and before we matte coat these or finish detail aging these models, they do look like what you can buy in the toy aisles. But let it sit a second and take a good look. And actually, I'm pretty happy with that right there. I might do a little bit more here, but let's see if I can bring this so you guys can see. But as you can tell, and I'll bring it up a little closer, you can tell, you can still see the darkness in the wheel wells, and you can still see what the wheel well color is supposed to be. But now it's shadowed, it brings out the details of the wheel wells, and yeah, it looks great. One more, and guys, and once this dries, I will get these covered up for you, and we'll get going on to the next part. So that's pretty much it, guys, on this. And like I said, when I do the main kit, again, I know I'm repeating myself, I'll show you how it even looks better on the primary paint. Making sure, you know, you do your first pass, let it sit and dry a minute, and then do your second, and if you need to, second, third, fourth, whatever. And I'll show you how to lighten up the paint as we do that again. I know the wheel wells are a little small to tell, but it gives you an idea of what's going to happen next. So guys, let me get this stuff clean and let this dry, and see you in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back, and yes, we are getting on to primary paint. That's why the video is so close, and I'm trying to make sure everything stays in camera so you guys can see it, at least on this first pass. Like I said in the previous video, if you guys have never done pre-shading like I've done, you want to try it. It brings out another level to your models. And the other thing, if you didn't catch it on the other videos, I definitely use the airbrush, and I have the all-clads, which I wanted to use for this, but because of the time of year, I can't, because you really need to have a good open ventilation system. And while I do have a spray booth inside, it's not a good enough pull to keep the harmful fumes back. So I do use those, and I will show you that on another kit when I go back to my all-clads. But I don't have it right now. And I have an airbrush that's easy enough that I can unplug it and go to my now garage to do this when it's warm enough to paint and not have any trouble with the alkalides. But I use mostly T.B.I, Model Master, or others, but they're all what's called a alclad, I think. Acrylic, sorry, acrylic. And what it means by acrylic is it's more of a water-based, and you can spray them inside the house. You don't have to have this fan because the fumes aren't harmful. Now, you do get the smell of paint, but it's not as harmful as an enamel paint or an alclad like I do. So that's why you guys will see me do a lot of this painting in here, and I talk about it and you go, well, don't you don't hear anything running, because with the alclad paints you don't really need the exhaust fan. Now sometimes I will kick it on when I do a very big project like what you're going to see when I do the NX-01, just to help keep air circulating. But smaller kits, you're good to go. So what's next? We are going to get this done. So I'm already set up, guys, and I want to go ahead and show you. To do this, you're going to need several passes, and you're going to thin down your paint. So we'll go ahead and show you. And basically, you just, as you can see, you just want to get it over. You don't want to go crazy on it. And the great thing about metal paints like what I'm using is you don't need a whole lot. A little bit helps, but you're going to keep thinning this down as you go. And like I said, make sure you have a scratch sheet of paper to do this. Okay. Now, I try to do these in a couple of sections. Well, I try to do it all at the same, but I want to let this get dry down, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the first pass on the bottom. Then I'll turn it back over and do the next passes on top. So, but, and yes, as you can tell, I do have my T.B.I stand, because you're definitely going to need it. You know, to keep it up. But here we go. Here's the next pass on the bottom. Here's the first pass on the bottom. And if you don't have paints around, like I do. Now when you go to the second or even the last couple of passes, you're going to want to let it dry completely and then turn it over. But with the first pass, there's not that much hard paint down. There's not a heavy layer of paint down. And you can, wow, making a mess there. You can't shake it out of the bottle if you're not careful. But like I said, you don't want to put a big detail down on the first pass. You just want to get enough paint down to start. And now what we're going to do, because this is pretty well done, the first pass is done. Just making sure to get the end of the wings, get the front of the wings, and those little spots that you can always forget. There. Now the first pass is done. As you guys can see, there's a little color down, but you don't see a whole lot of color. So, yay. First pass is done, and we're going to get on. And like I said, we're going to let this dry for a couple minutes, and when I come back, I'll start showing you the second and the last passes. But we're going to let this dry for a minute, and you don't have to empty your airbrush or anything. You just want to let it dry a couple minutes. Well, I'm not even going to come back. We'll just keep up with this. And let it dry a little bit. Put the next pass on. Let it dry a little bit, and then go. We definitely, you can, let's see. You can start to see that the pre-shading's getting covered. It's not all the way covered yet, but it's getting there. And like I said, you don't want to go crazy on the first pass. You don't want to, because you want that pre-shading to start sticking through, as I say. So, we're going to turn the plane back over. And I still have paint in there. Well, I'm going to add a little more because I spilt some. But what we're going to do is we're going to thin it down a little bit more. And you're fine with thinning it down and putting it back in the same jar if you don't use it all. But you definitely want to have the towel over your brush because it shakes. But yeah, so, And then using my scratch piece of paper, I just want to see how that's doing. Okay, so on this pass, I was up kind of about here, but I want to be further back because I just want it to go over. I don't want it to go crazy. I just want it to start getting in there. And kind of like that. And yeah, the metallic's going to be a little different. This is flat aluminum by T.B.I, so it's going to make the plane look good. And when you go down with your matte coats, it'll look even better. Yep, as you can see, guys, we're getting there. And as you can tell, I went ahead and masked off the gun ports. I didn't want to get them. I wanted to keep the pre-shading I did for them, but that's going to just be a light or a medium gray. That's all that's going to be. But we'll get the primary paint done, and then we'll go back and do that, because what I'm going to do is when I get the primary paint done, I'm going to go ahead and, once it's all good and dry and where I like it, I'm going to go ahead and matte coat, or not matte coat it, but gloss coat it with clear, because I want to save the paint job. I don't, on this, I want it to stay good. And providing that gloss clear, it's up to you. It's your decision when you want to gloss your coat before decaling, or, you know, up to you. But because I'm painting this all, the main body at once, I want to make sure I have a good, that I protect that paint once I get it all done. And that's when I'm going to gloss, and then I'll go in and I'll paint these and do another little light pass of gloss on it, but they'll be done. And then the underneath paint job will be protected, because when I go to paint these, I got to mask off the outside area around it instead of the inside, so I can get those painted. But yeah, so that's how I do things. And again, you're more than welcome to do how you want, but if you're getting back into it like we've talked about, you know, you can do it how I do, or you can do it how you want. But as you can tell, my brush isn't very close, and I'm still getting the paint down, but not crazy. You know, you've seen some people paint things, and I have. If you watch some of my other videos, I've gone and just done 1 or 2 passes with the primary paint, because I'm not going crazy, you know, not needing the extra little detail. But for a lot of things that I've started to do, I get this pre-shading in there, and I do these 3 or 4 passes like I'm doing. And you know, you just gotta look at it, and it's gonna be your taste on where you want it. Okay, it's your kit. Just figure out how you want to do it best, and then go from there. So, just making sure all the little bits are good. And yeah, that actually does look good. So, now we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to flip it over and hopefully do the last pass. And I'll zoom out and show you guys what it definitely looks like. And if you have to, you know, you can use keep a Q-tip around. Get, you know, if your brush isn't, if it's putting out little blots, which it can because the paint just sits there, do that. And the great thing about using an airbrush is it, as light as it is, it doesn't take very long. As you can see, I can touch it, and yeah, it dries rather quickly. So, not too shabby. So, here we go again, and we're going to thin this out some more and get her good mixed. And test. Yep. And again, you want to even be kind of further away this time, because as it thins down, it coats even more. As you can see, I jump. Stuff gets everywhere. Now normally this third pass you're going to want to let it get good and dry because it's a lot thinner and a bit more paint. As you can tell, I kind of started dribbling, and you want to make sure to get those up really quick. And you just kind of got to rub them and be careful. So. And yes, we're gonna distress this even after we close cut it and get the decals on, to make it look like it's more of a definitely a well honed and well used fighter aircraft. But that on the top is pretty much done. Now I had some testing, and as you can see, maybe on that wing, it looks a little brighter on that, but I can take care of that because I just used a couple of drops to test between the aluminum or the chrome silver, and like I said, I decided to use the aluminum. And there's things like I can do. I can even maybe do that even more because it blends quite well. But you know, there might be a touch up on the wing. But yeah, so there. That one is done. And like you said, you can still see where the detail, the shadowing is, but it's not there. It just enhances the kit. So we're letting that dry, and this time I will, because I'm on the third pass, got the top done as you guys can see. I'm going to let it dry, turn it over, finish the third pass on the bottom, and then I'll zoom out and I'll show you what it looks like complete. Okay guys, see you in a bit. Okay guys, we're back. I cleaned my airbrush, and yes, even model builders and everybody can and will forget to clean their airbrush. And I did that when I was doing the bottom of this. As you can see, I blocked off the landing gears, and you saw in the video what I did. But I thought I cleaned it, but I got sidetracked with doing something for my family, and then when I came down I thought, oh yeah, I already got that clean, so I don't have to. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of time today before I got painting getting my airbrush good and clean. So guys, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It always happens. Just if you need to, redo it, repaint it, clean that airbrush like I did and forgot to do, and don't worry about it, man. This is your builds, you do it. So enough with that. So just to show you, this is done. I am calling the primary paint done, and as you can tell, it's dry enough that I can pick up. But as you can see the pre-shading, especially when you hold it at different angles. Some of it's darker, some is not. That's fine. And then it's all done. So we're going to pull one of these out so you guys can see. Got the white gear and the metal body. So, okay guys, we're getting closer to getting this one done. Like I said, hopefully this week we should be done. But I'm going to finish doing what I need to do, and then when we come back, we'll get more painting done and get going on finishing this darn thing. Alright guys, see you soon. Well, happy Tuesday guys, and as you can see, I am getting ready to start on decals. So, one of the things I'm going to tell you is really go over your decal instructions, give a good study of them. As you can see, there's quite a few. There's two different decal sets for the plane. You can choose which one you want. And I'm going to go with the solid stripe right here. This one, it is from the 8th Fighter Bomber Wing, the commander's aircraft. And that's what I'm going to do. But there's some things you got to really look at. And let me get this folded up so you can... There we go. Let's see if we can get the focus in. Okay. So this is the one I'm going to do. But as you can see, right there, with the middle of the stripe, the fuselage stripe, you can see all the little fuselage markings to mark hatch doors and stuff. With this kit, what I've been learning as I've been studying this is you have to set some decals down before you can apply other decals. And what I mean by set them down means you got to let them get set and dry before you apply the next decal. And I'll show you that as I go through this. But as you can see, let me see here. As you can see, there's quite a few intricate decals This one right here, where the stripe is the most on the fuselage. But let me bring it over here to the top of the plane. And as you can see right here where the USA is, where the U is, there's a decal that's supposed to be under that, and then this one goes on top of it. So, again guys, just take your time, plan, and let me show you the sheet before I keep going. Yeah, let me zoom out there a bit for you guys. So this is a decal sheet from the Hasegawa company. And I really do like their decals. They go down really well. And I mean, they do put a lot in. So, like I said, study the instructions, study your decal sheet, decide how you want to go, and how to best plan the attack is what I can tell you. If you guys have seen me on my other videos, I've shown you how to put decals down from Galactica to Enterprise to Voyager, all those. If you're new to my channel, just a heads up guys, I'm gonna do a few of these and show you how I get them done, and then after that I'm gonna stop it and go. But let me get set up, let me cut a few of these out that I'm gonna do, and we'll get started. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, well we're ready to start decals, and like I explained in the video before this, but something I forgot to tell you guys, if you're just starting to follow me and how to do decals, some things you're going to need. One, like the instructions, really study them, really study your decals, but have a set of tweezers. This is my favorite pair, by the way. Some toothpicks, your X-Acto knife if you need it. It just helps to pull it around or pull the decal in the right place, but that's what I use those for too. So you can either use tweezers or that to help, and you can also use this to help hold down the bigger ones while you're getting there, and then move them. The toothpicks, definitely have some Q-tips to help push out the excess water and the air. And if you guys don't know, if you're new, haven't watched many of my channels, but you guys that do know, I love to use Solvaset. Now I love this stuff. It helps the decal get into where it should be. It makes it, it doesn't look like a decal in the end. It looks like it's supposed to be there. What it does is it'll help the decal soften up and get into the lines that you rescribed from doing your primary paint and your puttying. And what the Solvaset does is helps it get in there. So one of the first things I'm going to tell you, because we're when you're doing decals, is also study your model, but have a good look. And actually we're going to do something a little different. When you do the decals, like you see, make sure you trim them down when you choose the one that you're going to do and how you're going to go. What it does is it helps, you can always see a line with the decals, but if you'll see from me and other modelers that if you trim them down, they're a heck of a lot easier to work with. And we're going to go ahead and do this one first because I need to have the right placement on it so I can set another decal. So in the water, as you see, I do lukewarm and 1 drop of soap. This also helps with the decal getting off the paper and makes it easier to work with. But like I said, what you want to do is dip your finger and put water on the kit. This is going to help the decal move and help you get it positioned in the right spot. So yeah, so there we go. And then go ahead and let the decal sit and have a paper towel to help take off the excess water from the decal when you pull it from the tub. And we're going to get ready here to go. We're going to get this one in, and forgive me if it goes off camera a little bit. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I'm getting ready to do. And there we go. Like I said, forgive when it goes, if I get it out of frame. Decals are funny to play with and work with, as you guys will know, and you guys do know. So, let this sit for a few seconds, however long. Test each decal screen set is different. Some take long, like 2 to 3 minutes to get done, and then some take no time at all. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm just yep, and then you get something like that where the decal likes to break. But that's okay, because that's another great thing with solve set again. So if you do pull your decal apart like I just did there, don't fret. You can fix it. Just get things where they should be. Okay, and you do actually have to kind of work with them a little bit. Get them in the right position. Kind of like so. And the great thing is the gun ports help show you. But the other thing is you got to look where it is on top of the nose, and that helps with the instructions. You can actually, so this one actually should be right there. So we're gonna get this one done, and told you decals can be a finicky beast, but that's okay. If you need to, always don't be afraid to add a little more water to play with them. Trust me. Little extra water is not a bad thing. And forgive Mr. Cat. Get! If I'm doing something, he thinks he has to be all up in my business. So again, just use a little extra water if you need to, just to keep that decal moving. And if it starts to get scratches, don't worry, it'll be okay, because that's actually going to help. And then I just use this to help put it right where I want it. So you guys can see if I can get that in frame there for you. Sorry about that. Like I said, just don't be afraid, and if it does tear and you have to work with it like I'm doing here, because these long decals, they can be a mother sometimes. And what I'm saying by that is, when it comes time, you can always add a little more Huey to it. There we go. Come up a little bit more. There we go. Come down. There we go. So yeah. And another thing you want to do after you get it set, like I said, you can do a lot with that finger weight. But make sure you look at the bottom, because these things get finicky, and I mean, yeah, you have to play with them a little bit, because they're supposed to be at a certain, yep, like right there, angle. So that looks good. And then just, you can use that to help push the bubbles out. And there we go. There we go. Like I said, use a Q-tip now to really get it set down and in place, get those bubbles out. Do the little repairs you got to. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It looks good. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Now I'm going to add the Solvaset to the kit, and you can brush it on, just be careful, because when you're doing this you might pull that decal a little bit. Don't be afraid, because you can fix it. And like I said, where you see the little imperfections, let's see if I can get it there. You can see I can do, this was a fighter plane in Korea, so I can do some playing around with that. But okay, take a look at it. Yep, looks good. Like I said, decals can be either your friend or your foe. They can be a blessing and you're getting them done, you're going, oh my gosh, this looks awesome. Or they can end up being a curse and you just hate fighting with them. But we're doing okay. So I'm going to do the next one, and then I'm going to do another big one. Since I kind of messed up with that one, I'm going to do a small one, and then I'm going to do another big one for you guys just to show you. But yes, it has a solver set and it works. Now, like I said, if you damage your decal or you screw up, don't worry, it's okay, because like I said, with this plane, it was a combat plane in Korea. So you can add some effects or enhancements to it, so you can show that the paint job has been scratched, has been shot, has been buffeted, shoot tree limbs, whatever, this thing wind blowing in the country, whatever, you can take care of it. So if you screw up the decal, you're okay. Don't worry about it, guys. All right? And that's what I'm going to say about that. And if you're having trouble, if you notice the long ones actually is coming off, but it's being rough, go ahead and soak it for about 30 more seconds. It'll be a lot easier to play with. That's probably what I didn't do, is let it soak long enough. On this decal, even with it moving off the paper, I should have let it set for probably another 30 seconds. So, yeah, there's that. All right, so as you guys can see, this is a smaller one. Oh, almost forgot. Put the water on. Okay. Now don't worry if you got it set just right when you take it off the paper. You never will. That's what you use the little things for. Okay, you're more over that. And then you can look and make sure it looks lined up and everything. And that is, let me get on camera here. If you can't see it, let me see if I can get this to focus for you guys. It's right here, right there. It's a little small, it's harder to see, but yeah. So now I'm going to brush off the air. Do one more fit with it, rub the excess off the brush, and decal, set it in. And if I got to touch up the decal a little bit, I will. One of the other things when you use Solvaset, guys, the more you start messing with decal after the Solvaset's on it, you got a few seconds to be able to play with it, but then it gets really crazy. It likes to break, it likes to do its funny things. So oops. I don't know what I did with his name. Where's your name, buddy? Yeah, I thought I had everything ready for this thing. Looking for 100. I know. Sorry, guys. Forgive me a second. Give me a second. Oh. Duh. Okay. So, another thing, when you trim these down, try to get the number off, because trying to, the decal number, because sometimes those things are just like the decals and they just play hard to get and can cause a problem. But So we're going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to go ahead and shut the video down and get more done on this. But we'll continue with that in a second after I get this next decal done. So we're putting it right here. And it's going to be a lot bigger so you'll be able to see it. But give it a second to get off of that. Get a drink. And like I said, another thing, guys, with decals, don't be in a rush. Kind of like painting, don't be in a rush. Take the time, and like I said, even if you do make a mistake, it's okay because mistakes and defects happen. They're not always going to be perfect. And like I said, you can see that, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up, you know, okay? But definitely take your time. And as you can see, yes, I do use my finger a lot to help with this. Wow, that actually went right like it should have been. Holy cow. Happy mistake there. So, there is the plane's, come on, focus, plane's name. So again, we're going to get it brushed off, get all that air out, fix it up if we have to with brushing that air out because you will move these things. Okay? Alright, and now so it's set. And double check. Yep. And we're done with that one. Cool. So one more, and I'll let you see, get a better picture so you guys can see what I've done. But it's awful fun. I mean, these dudes give me a headache some days, trust me. These things love to give me headaches. And then they don't. But like right here on this stripe, I had to get this down first because there's a decal that goes, let me see. There's a decal that goes right there, and right there on the bottom, right there. So I wanted to make sure. Let's see if it looks right. There's that one, yep, and then this one right here on the edge. So we're going to put the colonel's name on this. Yep. Okay. Colonel's name's on. Now we're just going to get it back into position. No, looks right. Take off the excess water. And the saw is set. Okay, guys. Now let's see if I can zoom this out a little bit and give you a show. Let you see what I did. See if I turn that off. That helps. Okay, that does help. You don't have the overhead glare. So I did the long one. I did a short one, a little one up there. I did the name of the plane and the colonel who flies it right there. Let me get this really closer to you guys so you can see. Alright, guys. So I'm going to keep going on this, and when we come back, it'll be done, and we'll get on to the last parts of finishing this kit. And I do still have work on the Huey to do. I've got the seam work done. I got to sand it, but I want to get started on this because it's going to take a little while. So, guys, I will see you in a bit. Well, I'm back, guys. It's Wednesday, and good thing, all my physical therapy sessions, my different therapies that I was doing because of my injury are complete. I graduated today. So just to share that with you guys. But what I wanted to show you is I made a big boo-boo yesterday. And what I mean by boo-boo is you can see these two decals. I know I've already told you guys, take your time, do a little bit at a time, let it dry, then come back and do it. And I was, ooh, I want to get done. I want to get done. I'm trying to get the big pieces on. And while I was doing another piece, I had my hand, or just a bit of my thumb on this, and because the Savi set was setting it, it peeled up. But, so, there's a few things you guys can do if you do what I did and make this boo-boo. One, you can take it off, go online, or, search for another decal sheet and just fix it when you get the decal sheet. Or if you're like me, because I know this is a fighter jet from Korean War, I'm going to actually use my mistake and add a little bit more detail from air-to-air battle. During this time, this was the first time the United States had been using jets, so they were, and also the first time they started actually using, I think, don't quote me on it, but started using air-to-air missiles. So this is going to be damage from, exploding a North Korean fighter or a Russian fighter, whatever. But I'm going to let this play off. But again, guys, remember, don't do like I did. Take your time. If you know you can't do anything, anymore, just stop, let it dry, let it get fixed. So yeah, there's that. So what my goal is today, and hopefully tomorrow I will finish up all the decals, is I'm going to actually finish doing each side of the fuselage big decals. Let me get that in camera right here. And then I'm going to get the underneath big decals done. Let me get that in camera. Oops. And that's where I'm going to call it done today. That's what I'm going to get done. But on another good note is I've already gotten the seam lines worked on the Huey, the Huey. And like I said, got that. And I've got them already sanded down pretty good. And the next thing I'm going to do is get the inside here blocked off and get a coat of primer on this so I can see if I need to do any more work on the seams. So with that, guys, I'm going to get back to decaling and try to keep things in camera. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Oh, one more quick thing, guys. Something I do while I'm decaling, especially if it doesn't matter if there's a few or there's a lot, like on this plane, is if you can see, I mark, and something you should start trying to do if you haven't yet, or if you're just kind of figuring out how do I keep track, is when I get a decal done, I cross it out on the instruction sheet. That helps me with what else I got to do and what I haven't gotten done, as you can tell. What I got left to do and what I've gotten done and what I have, blah, blah, blah. But this is a trick that I use. So just to help you keep track of what you put down, just always remember, go through and mark out what you've gotten done. All right, now I'm going to get back to decaling, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, welcome. It is Friday. Sorry about the camera movement. I got it in my hand so I can show you both. But I am calling this done. Now there might be a couple little touch-ups I got to do later, but this is the first time in a while that I've done two kits at the same time and got them both done at the same time. Whoa. Excuse me, crazy. But here is the Huey. And let's see if I can get this to work right. And we'll get her turned for you. And guys, I got some comments, but I'm going to do that in the next video. But I wanted to get you all this shown as the best as I can. And yeah, let's get you turned. Yeah, I got to take that last piece off. But other than that, this thing's done. The one reason I left that on was because I did not, while moving this kit around, want to lose that tail piece. So that's like the last piece I got to really do, but I thought I'd go ahead and do this for you guys. So, okay. That's the Huey. Now on to the big pain in my ass. Here is the F-86, guys. Let me get the Huey moved out of the way, and let's get this better into frame. Again, I'm going to make a in-comment video, and I'm going to talk about both of these kits, the pros and the cons of both of these kits. But here is the F-86, guys. And I'm going to take some good shots of these and put it at the end of the video also, so you guys can get a really good look. And we can get you turned around here. Canopy did really well. I like that. Came out really nice and very detailed. But here we go. And yes, hey, look, there's a bumbling mistake I made, but this is how I took care of it. I went ahead and reloaded my airbrush, and I decided to do some light passes with the black Tamiya and to make it look like it's gone through flat clouds, you know, anti-aircraft, whatever, fighter stuff. But I used Tamiya black to add some more detail to help with the damage. And I actually, on the ones that I didn't damage, I went ahead and added a little more damage to, so everything was pretty consistent. But okay, now I'm going to turn it over so you guys can get a good look at this. And there we go. Oh, good. And there's another one that I messed up on. But like I said, I'll save that for the comments when I get this video done for you guys. So, yeah, I gotta put 2 more pieces there too, but that's okay. All in all, you know, 2 weeks to do this was not bad, considering, but I'll save that too. But let me get them back together for you guys. Get them lined up here so you guys can get a good look at them. So there you guys go. The Huey and the F-86. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Well, hey guys, here's the end of my build on the Huey and the F-86. Like I said, I just went over just showed you guys the video of the completed models. And 2 things I'm trying out. I turned my overhead off to see if this makes it easier to see me, because if I have it on, then you got that, oh my god, but we'll see. So you tell me what you like, off or on, when I'm making this part of the video. Of course on when I'm doing the kit. But my pros and cons for these kits. Pros. Very well designed and very, very fun and great to put together. Not a lot of work I had to do to get the parts to fit on either kit. I think what I did on the Huey, as you can see, there's the doors. With me opening those doors and then doing that, I think that made it look great. All in all, guys, this was a Hobby Boss for the Huey and Hasegawa, forgive me if I pronounce that wrong, kits. And they were great. I mean, I really enjoyed, sorry about the phone, I really enjoyed doing both of them. Now the cons, and the only really one con I got, guys, and I should know this after all the years I've been building, but something you guys should know too if you're just starting to learn how to build, or if you've been building for a while and haven't done one of these kits in a while, the decals. The decals kicked my behind. They went on well, most of them did, even, you know, wetting down the side that I was applying the decal and doing all that, and not the mistake I made with actually putting the solva set on and then my finger got in the way. But when you're going with the Hasegawa decals, you only got like 30 to 45 seconds to get it placed. If you don't, the decal, even if it's wet on the kit and the decal's wet, it's gonna tear. And it doesn't matter if you put it on the kit. Sometimes for like the lines on the, you know, the lines I did underneath, the indication lines, even moving those on a, you know, and letting it soak, moving those with the toothpick or even my tweezers, they tend to tear. They're very thin. They're very well done, but they're very thin. So just be careful. Now, the other complaint I have on this kit is on the starboard, or sorry, on the port side, all the little decals, the extra little ones you see on this kit, and when I take the pictures you'll see them, all the extra little decals on this were individual. No grouping, no nothing except for this one right here. That's it. No grouping or nothing. Now you go to the starboard side of the plane, and all the little ones, they were all grouped. So answer me that question. Why on the port side of the plane are the individual decal, are they individualized? to create all the detail. And on the starboard side, they weren't. So, yeah. That's my only complaint, and it's a teaching moment. I know how to work now with these decals even better. Even though Hasegawa does really great decals, great detail for their kits and their decals, the decals you have to work with pretty fast. Now, on the Hobby Boss, not a really big issue with working with the decals. They all went on. They all took the solve set really well. Again, you got about 30 to 45 seconds with their decals before the decals start to dry out, even with the water on the kit or on the decal, and that they start. So you got to be very careful with them. The only thing maybe I'd like to see different is when doing this front nose piece, is they section it off where the antenna comes out. So you're not trying to do from the door all the way to the half point on the front. I'd like to see them maybe cut that down to where you can do a couple of parts. If I ever rebuild this kit, I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut the decal and put it in sections instead of doing that. But all in all, guys, I am done. I'm happy. I got that one piece to cut off. But other than that, I'm very happy with these two kits. It's been a while since I've done aircraft, either helicopter or plane, and I really do enjoy doing them. And I love the detail that they have, and the decals are great. Just remember, take your time, and like on the F-86, it took me almost about basically two days and then a little bit on the third to finish up. Do not be afraid to stretch it out. Make sure, do the big ones and do one side and little ones, let them dry, get them all good and dry, and do the soft set and let them dry, and then go to the next kit. But with that said, I am going to set up my booth, take some nice still shots of these, and next week, guys, yes, we are back to space, my favorite medium to build in. And you guys, you know now what I'm going to do to the votes that I got for the last video I did. So, I want to wish you guys a happy weekend, have a great work week, and I will see you soon. Thank you.